Yo, back at it. Bracy Skills Clinics, another video. This AC is gonna stay on because I'm in the valley right now and it's super hot. My 14U got a tournament in Manteca, California. If you're not familiar with California, Central Valley gets really, really hot right now. It's close to 100 degrees, but I don't know what it is. Even 95 in the valley feels different than 95 in the Bay Area. I don't know what it is. They get that real dry heat. But I gotta go in a minute, man. So I'm gonna get right into it. So um, today's video is gonna be about expressing and utilizing your platform as an influencer in the right way, even if it may offend a certain crowd of people. You know, you got to be willing to offend a certain crowd of people in order to achieve the bigger goal, which is to improve the state of whatever you're into, right? So everybody know me. I'm in the influencing business of basketball as a trainer, coach, whatever, right? So in this business, there, just like anything else, there's good things, there's bad things, there's pros, there's cons. But I will say that because the business I'm in is dealing with youth basketball in particular, there are definitely a lot of things that are not good with youth basketball for several reasons. And it's not the kids' fault, it's usually the adults. And adults could mean trainers, it could mean coaches, it could mean parents, whatever. There are a lot of negatives. There's some positives for sure. And for me, the positives outweigh the negatives, which is the reason why I still decided to do what I do. But overall, for me as a somewhat of an influencer, I'm not saying I'm super big or super popular, but I do have some type of audience. And I do have people that do, pay attention to what I post and what I say, things of that nature. So for me, I made a post today about, too many trainers, not enough teachers. And what I meant by that, going in detail, is, and I had the discussion. If you look at the post, I was talking to my boy Joe. Shout out Joe, Hoop Life, man. Appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're definitely one of the top trainers and coaches and just people, overall people. Joe's a solid dude. We were talking, commenting on the post. He said some great things on there. You guys can go to the post on my Instagram. If you're not following me, follow me at BracySkillsClinics.com. Really, really good discussion me and him had on the comment box, on the thread, just following up on that post. But I'm going to kind of go deeper into detail as far as what I meant by that for the original post, which is, like I said, too many trainers, not enough teachers. So anybody that's helping kids should be applauded, because you're 9 times out of 10, you're still helping somebody else's seed. Nobody, there can never be enough, especially those that's really in it. There's no dollar sign that, can replace the amount of time somebody is choosing to help somebody else's child that may not have no relation by blood. So anybody that's helping kids in anything should definitely be applauded. Just like school teachers don't get paid enough, I feel like coaches are in that same boat as well, because we are influencers. And so that should be applauded. So let me just make sure that, I make myself clear so it doesn't seem like I'm bashing anybody directly or saying that, just if you don't teach the game the right way or teach it a certain way, you shouldn't be teaching at all. Nah, I would never say nothing like that, because especially if you're training and dealing with kids, you're doing a service, bro, that's definitely needed. And a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people don't want to do it. A lot of people are too lazy to do it. So you, as the trainer, the coach, the teacher, should definitely be applauded for the effort. But like I said on the post, I train more older kids than young kids. I train young kids, but most of the kids, and it's usually because I coach that level as well, most of the kids and young men that I deal with are between probably age range 14 to 20 plus. if they're still playing. So most of my clients fall under that range. I got a few that are younger than that, but majority of my clients fall under that gap of age range. So when I speak on, too many trainers, not enough teachers, it's because I see a lot of people that fall in that range, 14 and older, that are in high school and are in college. And some of them train a lot, but they can't necessarily translate it into the game. So my thing is, I'm looking at it just like I would in education, right? If I have a student, if I'm a teacher of a classroom, now we're going to school. If I'm the teacher of a classroom and I have a student that is getting tutored, staying after school, all these things, he's doing the right things that he or she thinks is going to allow them to be a successful student, that student should expect results unless they're being taught something that they're not being tested on. If they're being taught something that they're not being tested on the test, even with the time put in studying, they're studying the wrong things. So when they take that test, even though they've studied, put time in, I'm going hard, I really want this, but they're studying the wrong content. So when you take that test, we've all been there, like, we looking like, wait, I studied. This wasn't in the study guide. We've all have taken a test where a teacher gives us a study guide and we study the study guide, and the test looks totally different from the study guide. And we're like, yo, I studied. I don't remember this being like this or being worded like this, whatever, right? So if you're putting the time in on the wrong things, that you're not going to have the success that you would hope to have, or the success that you thought you were going to have just because you put time in. Putting in the appropriate time, studying the proper things is going to allow you to be successful on the test. So when we tie it back to basketball, when you're working on the right, correct things, which is not just training, because training is important. I'm not, like I said, I'm a trainer. You know what I'm saying? Teaching moves are definitely important. Learning how to play the game is more important. And I feel like a lot of trainers teach moves, but don't teach how to play the game. They don't teach reactions. They don't teach shot selections. They do drills, but they don't keep in mind of certain things on the court that they got to pay attention to. Like if I'm coming off a pick and roll, let's say from the left wing, right? Let's picture this, visualize this. I'm the ball handler, and I'm coming off a screen and roll, and I'm coming from the left wing. Let's say the left wing, right? I come off, I'm going right. Where should I be looking? I should be looking at the help defense, because I want to see what that guy's going to do, because that guy's going to tell me by what he does or doesn't do on which play I should make next. Meaning that if we're in a training session and we're working on pick and roll, I got to train my players, even if it's just a one-on-one session, I got to train my players to look at certain things on the court, because those are the certain places that you may have to look at coming off that pick and roll. Because in a game, there's help defense. There's 5 players. You got 4 teammates. Then you got whatever the coach wants. Like, some coaches are like delusional. Like, they don't want nobody playing their game. It's their way or the highway. But then sometimes you got coaches that allow the kid to play their game, but they're still going to want a certain sense of structure. And you don't have to be a robot, but you still got to know how to play your game within the team setting. That is probably the most difficult thing that kids and even college players, like I said, that age range I talk about that I work with, 14 to 20 plus, that's probably the biggest thing that they struggle with, is figuring out how do they allow their individual game and the things that they've worked on to fit inside of a team setting. So as a coach or a trainer, you have to be a teacher of the game, so that no matter what coach that student plays for, their game is going to translate regardless, because the things that they do in a training session are natural things that all coaches are going to want to see. You're going to have to be able to shoot the ball. You're going to have to be able to handle the ball with both hands. You're going to have to be able to play off 2 feet, secondary moves off 2 feet. What's not going to translate is a bunch of isolation basketball. That's not going to translate. Every coach is not going for that. What's not going to translate is a coach just allowing you to go out and shoot 20, 30 times a game. Those are not necessarily translatable things. So when you're working out, training a player, you have to be a teacher as well, so that your client, so you can sit back and your kids can, I know my kids going to be fine because they know how to play the game. They have a high basketball IQ. The kids that can play for any style, any system have super high basketball IQs. If you have a high basketball IQ, there's no coach that you can't play for because you're going to figure it out at some point. Even if you don't agree with the coaching style, your IQ is going to naturally take over your game and say, okay, I know that coach ain't messing with that, but you know what I got to do? I got to do this because coach really likes this. Let me see if I can do that because I think that's something that a coach should really like. That's going to get me on the floor or keep me on the floor. Like, it's things like that that's what I'm talking about. So like I said, going back to the original topic, because I got to get going, too many trainers, not enough teachers. Too many trainers are teaching the what, but not the why. The what is, let's teach you how to do this move, this step back move, this new move here. Oh yeah, just tween behind, step back. I teach moves too. I teach moves. I do it too. I teach moves, but I try to make it to where it makes sense. Meaning that if I'm telling you to do this step back, I'm not telling you to do 5 dribbles before the step back. It's going to be a quick move. It's going to be downhill. It's going to be north-south. It's not going to be east-west. Because I know coaches, a lot of times in college, man, you ain't going to have more than 3 to 4 dribbles to get your shot off, bro. So if we're going to do a step back, it's going to be, I catch the ball, take 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, and then boom, step back shot. That's quick, right to the point. We're not doing too much dancing around because every coach is not going to allow a kid to do that. Whether we as trainers agree with it or not, the coach has the power on who starts, on who comes off the bench, on who subs in the game, who's coming out the game. They have the power. We are players. We don't have that power. So I'm not saying that you got to kiss a coach's tail, but if you want to be on the court, you do have to buy in. There has to be a certain sense of buying in. And so trainers have to be teachers so that their clients can hang and survive wherever they go. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense to my followers, because I want to make sure I'm really, really crystal clear on what I meant by too many trainers and not enough teachers. Teachers are going to teach you how to do what you're training and when to do what you're training in the game, when it's going to be effective, when picking your spots, watching film. Let me see why the coach was mad at you. Sometimes the coach might be on some BS. We know it's some BS coaches out there. I'm not even going to lie. But sometimes it's not the coach. Sometimes it's, bro, that's just a terrible shot, bro. I mean, you came down, it was no pass, you just jacked the shot up. You wasn't even open. And it takes that. And as a trainer, you got to keep it real with your clients to tell them what's a good shot and a bad shot. Like, yes, we're working on these moves, but you can't do a 2-3 dribble step back and you guys are up 10 with a minute left. And look at the coach and say, but I work on that. Yeah, but look at the time and situation. We're up 10 with a minute left, and you're doing a move that your trainer taught. That's where, I'm going to tell y'all something. That's where the friction comes from trainers and coaches, because these kids think that the trainer is above the current coach that they play for. That is a red flag, bro. I don't care how many trainers may disagree with that. Our job is to enhance our clients so that they go to their coach a better player, even a better person. So if our kids are doing something that doesn't fall in line with what the team is trying to do, we got to sit that client down and say, yo, yes, we work on it, but you're not supposed to do that move when you're up 10 with a minute left. No coach is going to like that. You know what I'm saying? Those are just examples. You know what I'm saying? So this is now going in detail. That's what I meant by not enough teachers, too many trainers. You guys see what I'm saying now? Hopefully you guys do. Of course, you can't say yeah while I'm on the video, but that's pretty much what I meant. Hopefully you guys like, comment, subscribe. We almost at 1,000, man. I appreciate everybody that's been tapping in. I got a game. I'm going to have some film up later. My Rampage 14U, we're in this tournament, man. We got both the Soldier teams, Sac Soldier, Stockton Soldiers. It's going to be fun. So, you know, you guys see most of my 8th graders, my class of 26 kids, been putting in a lot of work. You guys see the videos. Let's see how they do in the game. Okay? Like, comment, subscribe. We out.